in the house. Got Judah Wickower in the house. Got Liza the dog in the house. Everyone's feeling good, feeling fresh, feeling alive. Keeps telling Judah to get the mic in front of him over there. Judah does a lot behind the scenes to make sure we're on point. Thank you per usual, Judah. Do we have any slides we're showing today?
We are not. We had
no slides.
We had
no internet for Smith.
We had no internet at the house. And
was that for much of Lake Monticello?
No, that is not much of Lake Monticello.
That was your.
That was specifically to the Smith residence.
Did it get fixed?
No, it has not gotten fixed because it happened sometime Friday. We were out of the house, and let's put it this way: the cat that we own didn't do its job.
Darn cat.
Darn cat.
Darn cat, Bill McChesney.
Why
wasn't that cat stepping up and protecting Keefe's abode?
That cat.
Darn cat.
Liza would have been on it.
I know Liza would have been on it.
I don't think Liza.
I think we're feeding the cat too much. So what happened?
Liza's such a nice dog. I think she would have cuddled with the mice.
No,
I don't think she would have killed him.
You do not know Liza.
No,
she doesn't like squirrels. Does she not like mice?
I think she would chase anything if she had an opportunity.
Has she ever seen a mouse?
Liza has killed mice.
What's that?
Liza has killed many mice.
So we're going to invite
at your house.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So we're gonna
wow, Liza.
We're gonna invite Liza over to the house and show the cat and my dog how to do it. So what happened was a mouse chewed through my fiber internet line as it just, I guess, either just came in the house or from the outside. I don't know how it happened, but a mouse got it, and we were without internet, so I did not have an opportunity to work on slides. But, we got old school. We broke out the rabbit ears and slapped it on the brand new television and got to watch football anyway.
Nice. I'm still blown away that Liza has killed mice at your house. What does she do with them when she kills them? Does she chew them up and eat them?
Should we go there?
Yeah, do we really want to go there?
What does she do?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
why don't we let people use their imagination?
Mostly she just leaves them where she kills them.
And then you're left with the present?
Yeah, I just grab a bag and toss them out.
So, there you go.
How did we get into dismembering little...
You had a mouse
It was me.
Your
That's right.
internet line.
It was me. Chewed my internet line. That never happened, by the way, with my cable. We've only had Firefly internet at the house for about a month.
Is it above ground?
And no, it was somehow or another, there's a box mounted to the house. And inside the box mounted to the house, a mouse somehow or another got into it and chewed the wires.
Liza, you're needed at Smith's home.
Yeah. So I opened up. I brushed off some, fix the door builder developer skills, and
you noticed.
I started tracing the problem back out and traced it back to the box, and I said, let me open the box, and I opened it up, and there was a mouse nest in it, and somehow or other they were getting into the box. So
man, we have a genuine Columbo on set, a Matlock on set.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's just years of doing stuff. It's funny. It brings up a story, and we can save that for on air. My famous question I asked, some new guests about, what skill or talent you had.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, that you don't possess that you wish you had.
Of course.
And there's a story behind that. I was entertaining a bunch of 20-somethings at the Virginia Governor's Housing Conference, and I asked that question, and the answer surprised me. I've never heard an answer before. But we can talk about that after you do your intro.
We'll have some fun. Judah Wickower, let's rock and roll, baby.
Quiet on the set.
Good Monday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk with Keefe Smith. Thank you kindly for joining us. It's a pleasure to connect with you guys through the I Love Seville Network, and today's show is presented by Yes Realty Partners, Keith and Yona Smith's company, Yes Realty Partners. Find them online at yesrealtypartners.com. Guys, trusted advisors in this game we call real estate. And on Real Talk, you may hear data, stats about solds and coming on the markets and pendings and land use and commercial development. You may get an interview or two from fantastic agents and colleagues of Keith Smith. You may hear Keith Smith pontificate on where the market is going. You also get some chitter chatter on mice. That's why you love Real Talk with Keith Smith. Mice. It's the mice. Judah Wickower is the director.
It's everything other than real estate.
Judah Wickower. I think that's what makes you.
It just look. We started this.
I think that's why people appreciate you.
Look. I'll look on the calendar. It'll tell you exactly what today is. Hang on one second.
What show number?
Yeah. So today, hold on a second. Show 419.
419 shows.
And I've gotten a lot. Oh, there you go. The police even like that.
There we go.
Which we probably want to talk a little bit about that later in the show. That's a bit scary. But look, people, I think, watch and listen, and I bump into folks all the time, maybe at a bar, may not be at a bar, and they love the back and forth, and they love the fun that we have. But mostly what they say is they love the interaction from the viewers and the listeners. So please do that. We've got some awesome regulars, today we're kind of winging it a little bit today. Maybe that's the wrong choice of words, but since I had no internet, we got no slides, we got no data. I would love to do some case studies if somebody wants to throw a listing at my way, and let's talk a little bit about it. But I love doing this with you. I really do.
Absolutely. Keith Smith of Yes Realty Partners. Judah Wickower, let's rock and roll. So, Keith, you and Yona Smith own Yes Realty Partners. Your firm absolutely did some fantastic numbers last year.
We did.
We are now in the last Monday of January and 2023. Keith Smith, how's the market doing?
So, great question, Jerry. As you know, I keep a track of week over weeks. And I just did it really, really quickly just before the show. So this week versus last week, our pendings, last year, our pendings are up 18%. So in other words, we are 18% higher in homes going under contract this week versus the same week last year. But interesting, our inventory is starting to drop a little bit, which is not a good sign. If you look in the buy particularly, it's about down by 11%. So the market is what we've been talking about all the time. It's all a matter of location, price, features, and conditions. And if really the spring market sprung probably the first day of January. And so if you're looking to list, now's the time to do it. If you're looking to buy, now's the time to do it. I think the question is, how come we are up week over week, and if the interest rates are double in the pendings on that end of it. And I think people have worked through the interest rate Band-Aid getting ripped off. But we're personally, we're doing great. Company's doing great. But, inventory is what we're going to be talking about for a long time.
Your first sizzle reel is in the books right there, Judah Wickower. Let's mark that timestamp. Keith Smith, guys, co-owner and realtor at Yes Realty Partners. The spring market sprung at the start of the year. Inventory used to be a four-letter word on this program. Now we can't get around it. And I agree with you 100%.
I think that's more than 4 letters, isn't it?
That's certainly more than 4 letters. I meant the metaphorical cuss word.
Metaphorical 4-letter words. Yeah.
We cannot get beyond the inventory shortage. What seems to be happening, however, is the marketplace is getting beyond the sticker shock of interest rates above 6%, Keith Smith.
Yeah, so I think that's exactly what it is. And so I'm looking at the pendings for the last week. The median days on market were 17, but if you start going through and looking on the days on market, as we mentioned this a couple of shows ago, I'm scrolling through here. I've got 199, 129, 134 days, 152s, 150. There's a lot of triple-digit days on markets there, and a ton of double digits up in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, going up that way. And I think what's going to happen when we have this show the end of next month, end of February, you're going to start seeing those days on markets being more kind of consistent, right? The median days of hold on one second. The median days of 17 kicks out the high and low. The average is 45, right? Because that takes the actual average over them all. I think this show next month, we're going to be looking at that same week over week, and we're going to see the median and the average kind of close. So what I think has been happening since January 1, and when I think I'm looking at it, what has happened since January number 1, everything that's been on the market since October, November, December has sold the beginning of January. Not everything. I'm sure there's some other homes out there on market. But stuff that was sitting on the market for those 3 months are now starting to sell. I'm sure there was price adjustments in it, a couple other different factors in it. Holidays are over. I think the sticker shock of 6% to 7% mortgages have kind of settled in. And now you're seeing, people having to buy homes. People need to buy. People need to sell, and it's moving. But with only 47 units coming on the market in the last 7 days, that's not enough. That's not enough.
Let's create the second sizzle reel right here, Judah Wickower. Keith Smith, Yes Realty Partners co-owner. What can get more inventory on this market? We see clearly the primary headwind is inventory. What can get more inventory on the market, Keith Smith?
Well, other than these wands,
right?
I think the first thing is the confidence has to come back, right?
Okay.
So the confidence of, and I think you're starting to creep into that a little bit, the confidence of I can put my house on the market, get it sold. The data's proven that, right? They're moving quickly, assuming it's in the right location and it's the right price and the right features and the right condition, and the confidence of I can buy. That's going to be the big drag on inventory. We got some great stuff running through the Albemarle County. Tomorrow they're going to be talking about builder incentives. We've got the FLUM, we've got the land use working through City of Charlottesville. There's a couple of projects coming up, but the confidence needs to get built for people that are in existing homes to sell them. If not, this is going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. So if you're ready to put your house on the market, now's a really darn good time to do it.
Call Keith Smith if you want to do that. Yes Realty Partners. Do we think the inventory will actually come? Let's welcome John Blair to the program. Mayor of McIntyre, Bill McChesney, welcome to the program. Put your questions in the comment section. I'll relay them live on air. Do we think the inventory is actually going to come?
If we are growing, if we're reading through, we've got an 18% week over week increase. In other words, same week versus last year. I'm looking at pendings that are eating up all the multiple digit days inventory. There's going to come a plateau, and I think you're starting to see it, a plateau where there's not enough inventory, period. But what's going to happen is the inventory that's been on the market is going to get eaten up, and I think that's what you're going to start seeing. I'm trying to do the political answer on this a little bit, but look, the bottom line is it's going to increase, but man, it's going to be very minimal on it. Inventory is just going to be tight and continue to be tight. It's been tight for years. I just don't see it. Everybody expected 7% to shoot up inventory. It really didn't do it.
Yeah. You got 11. Why would they expect 7% to shoot up inventory?
Well, people would then that have been sitting on the sideline decide to sell because inventory comes up. It's the emotional factor of it, right? So that's generally what happens. Oh my God, I've been waiting. We better do it before it gets to 8%, 10%, 12%, that kind of thing. And it goes the same direction, right? As interest rates are dropping, I better buy before, interest rates go back up or something along those lines. But they expected 7% interest rate to slow down sales, which it hasn't, and impact inventory, which I don't think it has. So, we talked about this most of last week. If Scott's right, Scott Morris is right, and we hit 4.5%, I think the inventory.
It's going to be meager. It's going to be bleak.
Look, we're
You got 11 homes on the market. I'm not counting paper houses, guys. Proposed construction. I'm not counting paper houses, which is proposed construction. 11 homes on the market in Forest Lakes. You have 3 homes on the market 11 homes on the market in Lake Monticello.
Yeah, okay.
3 homes on the market in Lake 11 homes on the market at Lake Monticello,
Yeah.
3 homes on the market at Forest Lakes.
By the way, that 11 homes at Lake Monticello is a bit of an uptick. It was eight
Last week.
last week.
Yeah.
We had a whopping uptick from 8 to 11.
Still 11 out of 4,300 at the lake.
Yeah.
Forest Lakes is a massive community. In Forest Lakes, you have 3 homes on the market right now.
Yeah. So go back to it's interesting, you and I were talking about that. Go back to the Lake Monticello numbers, which you're beating me to that stats on that end of it. How many of them are under 200?
None.
Yeah. How many are under 300?
The Lake Monticello, the time for Lake Monticello under 200 is gone.
That's been gone for years.
Gone for a long time. At Lake Monticello right now, you have 2 homes under 300K. Your colleague Donna Patton has one at 269,900, 12 Bernardsburg Road. Okay. You also have at Lake Monticello a second one under 300 from Maggie, your colleague, at 12 Maple Vale Drive. That's it, Keith.
Yeah, shout out to Maggie. Because
nobody else under 300. No other listing under 300.
So you got 2 houses under 300 grand.
You got one at 300 even, courtesy of your friend Yvette, who's got 10 Oak Terrace, 300K even. Everything else, Keith, you got Jefferson Drive at 650. You got Amethyst?
Amethyst.
Amethyst at 375. You got Evergreen Lane at 375.
That's exactly right.
Ponderosa Lane at 595.
Yep, 595. That was a substantial drop, by the way. That started at 679.
Yeah, price adjustment.
That's substantial.
Price modification.
Just to throw that out there.
It was substantial.
That was substantial.
Out of the gates, maybe not the, we'll leave it alone. It was a price modification. We'll put it that way. You got 2 under 300 and 1 at 300K even at Lake Monticello out of 4,300 homes. 11 active listings at Lake Monticello. Forest Lakes is even less. 3 active listings at Forest Lakes. You want to target some of the upper end neighborhoods, some of the.
Let's stay on Lake Monticello.
Okay.
Because I'm now looking at my end of it.
Sure.
End of it. In reality, we are at 8 still because I've got a coming soon. I'm showing 10, not 11, and one is inactive with the kick out. So that is on.
Which one's that?
12 Maple Vale Drive.
Okay, I'm looking at that one.
Yeah. So for those who are not familiar with that, that means it's under contract with some sort of contingency. So Keith and Jerry come in to buy it. They have to remove the contingency, or we ended up buying it.
Active with a kick out generally takes the home off the market.
And I would say so. Right, we're still at 8 because you want to take basically the active with the kick out.
Because it generally takes it off the market. Once you start seeing active with a kick out, the second party is not going to get too deep in there because they're seeing scarlet lettered or potentially owned by somebody else.
Yeah, it's just a too difficult of a path.
Right.
And you know why it really doesn't happen? The way it really doesn't happen, if I'm helping you buy at Lake Monticello, and you have to wait 72 hours to do that. And with 8 homes on the market, you miss other opportunities, right? Because you're not going to put 2 contracts in and 2 houses, right? So I put a contract in and the active with the kick out and another one, all of a sudden both get accepted.
You're in a tough spot.
Guess what? You're buying 2 houses. So, more than likely they generally will counsel folks, well, let's look at something else first before we do, unless you're in love with it and it's the right location and you've got a bunch of cash and you want to go ahead and do that. But in essence, we've got 8 homes on the market. Now, it's interesting. The median days on market are 36 at Lake Monticello, right? Which is kind of high, right? compared to what it's been for a while. But if you start taking a look, and what's skewing that a little bit, there's one that's on the market for 125 days, 108 days, 82 days. So some of those are the ones that are making their price adjustments to it. So, I really think you're going to start seeing this time next week or this time the end of the month, all these 100-day homes in here, they'll get their prices adjusted the way
sold.
And sold. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll take it a step farther. Let's go to Glenmore. How many homes do you think are on the market in Glenmore? Non-paper houses.
Am I supposed to look?
Non-new construction.
You
Just
want
a
me to
random
guess?
guess.
You want me to guess?
Roughly 850 homes in Glenmore.
So I'm supposed to know what I'm doing here. So let's figure this out.
I mean, you don't have to know how many active listings are in every neighborhood. That's very difficult, especially since you have a computer and you can check whenever you want. Here, we're just giving you a little trivia question on the fly.
Unless the mouse.
Right. You got in a tough spot this week, and the mouse ate your internet.
And it was interesting.
The mouse ate Keith's internet. This is like the dog ate my homework? No, the mouse ate my internet.
Literally, the mouse ate my internet. Sorry, not prepared today. Mouse ate my internet. I like that. I got to write that down.
You're still doing a damn good job. Next time you're in a predicament, the mouse ate my internet.
I got to write that down. I like that.
The mouse ate my internet. That's 2023 for you right there. The mouse ate my internet.
No, that might be a description of
COVID.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mouse. I wrote it down. The mouse ate my internet. I like that. Sorry, I'm not prepared for this meeting.
I have a feeling you're going to hear that from Keith.
Mouse ate my internet. No, I wrote it down.
Did this get in the Riz Media quote?
Yeah.
The mouse ate my internet. You better be careful because they made me watch it.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
The mouse ate my internet.
Yeah.
You got one home on the market in Farmington. You got 2 homes on the market in Glenmore.
I was going to say less than 5.
You got 1 home on the market in Keswick Estates.
So those are not paper houses, right?
There's only 2 in Glenmore that are not paper houses. Keswick Estates, only 1 home on the market.
Yeah.
Farmington, only 1 home on the market.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it goes back to...
I guess the reason I highlighted those neighborhoods, we're showing all levels of spectrum. All levels of price point. Ednam Forest, no homes on the market.
Yeah, but Ednam Forest...
Those trade quickly.
Yeah, that's an animal unto itself. It's kind of like Farmington, right?
Those trade in the neighborhood walks.
Yeah. They either don't hit the market, as you mentioned. What do you mean by neighborhood walks? Like people walk the neighborhood.
Yeah, they don't even go on the market. It's friends doing deals.
Yeah. So, look.
This worries me.
Well, so maybe this is profound, maybe it's not. So why this whole conversation we're having matter, right? Why does all this matter? Why does getting a trusted advisor to help you through the transaction matter? And the reason it matters is a couple of years ago, frankly, if you had a pulse, you could do this, right? It happened. It was happening at such a frenetic.
Yeah, frenetic pace.
Was that
Frenetic.
Don't sizzle reel this one. Frenetic.
There's an E after the end.
Oh, I missed an E. Thank you, Judah. Judah, keep it on. Judah Whitcower doing a great job. Thank you, Judah.
At a hurried.
Frenetic.
I was trying to be fancy and use a big word.
Stuff is happening quickly.
At a hurried pace.
Stuff is happening quickly.
Hurried pace.
The mouse ate my internet.
The mouse ate my internet.
The mouse
damn
ate
it.
my internet.
Damn
it.
Damn it.
The mouse ate my internet.
I think I see a meme there.
I think I see a meme somewhere there.
Mouse ate my internet. I got to look that up.
Where Neil Williamson is putting a meme together.
Yeah, I would imagine he would be, with my face and a mouse. So this is why you need a trusted advisor. This is why, the partners on our partner tabs for Real Talk with Keith Smith is so important. You need to get through this. All the conversations I'm having with agents or other agents, our agents or other agents, is there are situations that are popping up now that never happened 2 years ago. And what I mean by that was they were just glossed over and people closed. Now people are going, hey, let me get a survey, right? Let me do a home inspection, right? We're back to some normalcy and stuff is popping back up. Oops, the garage that I own is not actually on my house. It's on my property. It's on somebody else's property.
You know this first.
That may or may not have ever happened to me. Or it may not have happened to me currently.
Well, no, not you personally.
No.
Someone you're working alongside and offering counsel for.
Yeah. So you.
One thing you've always told me.
Get a damn survey.
Get a survey done. You wouldn't have made that mistake with your residents.
No.
You say pay the cost to get a survey done. You've taught me that.
Get a physical. If you do not have a stamped physical survey that is recent,
it's worth the cost.
It is absolutely worth the cost. You should negotiate it on the deal, right?
Right.
So that's back to the skills that you need.
Trusted advisor.
And all that kind of stuff. Trusted advisor. You want to try to get the other side to pay for that. But, always get a physical survey.
You should relay the story to them again.
Yeah.
Meredith Young, welcome to the program. Neil Williamson, hello. Kevin Yancey, hello.
So why you need a trusted advisor and why normalcy matters. There was a transaction. There's multiple. It's a domino deal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 deals all tied together.
No.
Oh yeah, sure.
Good. Of course there is, right?
Of course there is.
Of course there is.
Of course there is. Right.
Murphy's Law.
Right. Of course there is. Not just one little.
The mouse ain't my internet.
The mouse ain't my freaking internet.
4 deals are tied to this damn garage?
Oh yeah. So you got 4 deals. It's a domino deal. So if one falls apart, 4 of them fall apart all together simultaneously. So what happened was back to the whole trusted advisor kind of thing. We've got the phone call. Hey, we'd like you to list your house. Yada yada yada. And I always do a GIS search, which GIS, which is the county tax base. For those who don't know, the tax internet. You can look at your tax rate, where your property is, boundary lines, so forth and so on. Historically is wrong, right? So, where the lines are versus the house is not right. But this thing, when I looked at it, I went, whoa, this is substantially off. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do you have a recent physical survey? No. Well, we need to get one. So we ordered one.
How much does that cost?
Albemarle County, multiple acres. Well, this one was a little expensive because we got a hiccup, but figure somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 is roughly the cost for a physical survey. Do you know the difference between a regular survey and a physical survey?
You're going to tell us. Tell us.
The difference between a regular survey and a physical survey. Or let me rephrase that. The difference between locating the corners, right, which some people think is a survey, and a physical survey is this. Locating the corners is exactly what that is. The corners are located, right? A physical survey is what the surveyor does. He or she digs up all deeded restrictions, easements, utility easements, and then they physically go out to the parcel and they shoot everything. In other words, with their transits, they shoot all the buildings. In this particular case, it came back and their garage that they thought was on their property, detached garage, they thought was on their property was actually on somebody else's property. So I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week. And
absolutely.
And I'm probably more lucky than good.
Often.
Regularly.
Regularly. No, look at Yoda. You got
regularly. But as it turns out,
Keith Smith is one of the luckiest people I know. You know that too.
Except when I bet Neil. So.
Yeah, but I think most of the times, let's cut to the chase. Most of the times you're doing those bets for the sake of a talk show.
Don't give me up.
Still. I mean, you're losing the bets.
I am gladly.
I know you would.
I am ecstatically will lose this bet. I've been practicing.
You got the clippers over there.
I brought them home.
Oh, you brought them home.
I haven't turned them on. I've just been practicing.
This is the first actual prop Keith has brought home as opposed to leaving on our set. I know, there's so many props on your side of the table. Would we have people like the mayor or supervisors or people from the police sit on that chair? They're like,
what's this shit?
What is all
Whoops. What's this stuff for?
They're like, what is all this stuff?
So, lucky, to finish the story, lucky. I'd rather be lucky than good, right? I couldn't have scripted this any better. The buyer is related to the property owner that the shed is sitting on.
No way.
I swear to God.
What are the odds of that? That certainly helped.
I would rather, well,
Look at the family dynamic.
Yeah.
I know you can't go too deep into this.
Yeah, I
but
can't. I
yeah.
can't. But
I mean, at least there's a line of communication there.
Yes, the path is much easier that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As opposed to a stranger in a different state.
correct. You can't find them.
Yeah, that you can't find.
Yeah.
Because that'd be worse.
So I you know, we're knock on Formica, right? That's Formica.
Hey, what is this? You know the woods better than I do. What kind of our
This
conference
is not
table?
wood.
What is this?
It's laminate.
Oh, it's laminate.
This is fake.
The side is wood.
The side is wood, but this is plastic.
Okay. This is laminate.
You know how to know. You know how to tell that, right?
How it sounds?
Well,
When you knock?
first of all, you can tell by
It's
scratching.
shiny?
It's plastic.
You can't-
But you pull up that little
You
insert.
can't, dig into it.
Pull up that insert there in the middle of the table.
Yeah,
and
you'll tell.
And you'll see the lamp.
You'll see.
The lamp.
Questions and comments coming in fast and furious.
Good. Thank you for saving me.
Meredith Young. She's Keller Williams realtor. There,
Hey.
she says, I think there's one in Glenmore. Actually, two. The two are 3219 Darby Road, and the second one is 1132 Cambridge Hill Lane. Both active right now and not paper houses in Glenmore. Carol Thorpe.
Hey,
Here's
Carol.
a good opportunity for you and Yona Smith here.
Yeah.
Carol Thorpe is the queen of Jack Jewett.
Yeah.
She says, Jerry, after 2 years, our relative whom we were allowing to live in my late mother-in-law's house at Mill Creek is finally vacant.
Oh.
It just reassessed at $340,000, and we are ready to find a trusted advisor to fix it up a little and get it on the market. We have never sold a home before. How many advisors should we interview, and what should we be looking for in choosing the one? Mill Creek listing, Carol Thorpe. Carol and her husband very kindly let one of her family members live in this Mill Creek house,
Yeah.
which is Avon Extended. The family members moved out, and they're ready to sell the house.
So the first question, to answer the first question is there's a ton of trusted advisors out there. We would love the opportunity to sit down and talk to you, have a cup of coffee, meet at the kitchen table. I prefer to meet at the property. We've got, ISC can help. We've got a list of trusted advisors that can help, spruce the home up. Plus, Emily is a certified interior decorator.
Emily Funk on the
in
Guest Realty Partners team.
in our office, so we can bring and go and take a look at it. But there's a ton of trusted real estate advisors you can reach out to, and I would do the same thing as you would do anything. Call a couple of folks in, see where the relationship fit really is, because everybody should be giving you the same data on it. It's a matter of what relationships put together. To go backwards, Carol, that property was owned, if I got this right, was owned by you. You kept ownership of it and then let a family member stay in
That's
it?
correct.
Okay,
They can
got it.
go.
So it was not classified as an investment property. We want to make sure that question gets asked. Because if it is, then we got a different path to go with it. But if it's the way we're talking about it, then we should be good, because we don't want to start dealing with capital gains or anything along those lines on that end of it. But yeah, so love to sit down and chat. Love to sit down and see what we can do to help. And if not, reach out to a bunch of other folks that you may know in this.
Carol, I tagged Keith Smith and Yona Smith in that comment, and I responded that I very much suggest these two as your trusted advisors, because they're honest, kind, and hardworking, and I've seen it firsthand with friends and colleagues. That's Charlottesville's finest.
No,
That's the fire truck.
that's not finest.
That was the fire. Oh, what's the
Come on,
Charlottesville's
bravest.
bravest?
So fire department is always bravest. Police
Police
department
is the finest. All right,
finest.
Charlottesville's bravest just drove by.
I only know that because I'm the son of
You're a son of a New York City firefighter.
I'm a son, grandson, great-grandson of New York City firemen.
I respect that.
And that may or may not have been beaten into your head.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
I've seen Pop.
Like
I
said,
love you, Pop. I
saw-
love you too, Tina.
I saw him yesterday.
How's Pop doing?
They're doing great. They're
Yeah.
doing great. They were having problems FaceTiming with my youngest daughter and granddaughter out in Seattle. So I get the phone calls from all my daughters.
All your daughters, you have two.
Yeah.
You have two daughters.
Well, I have, those are the two biological daughters.
Okay.
But I have like Kelsey Schlein.
Oh.
I have other
Friend of the family that
I
you're
have-
calling a daughter.
I
I
have
wasn't
friend-
sure where you were going with this.
I have young women who grew up with my young women that I
course.
call other daughters.
I mean, in a lot of ways, Scott is like that for you.
Oh yeah, I've known Scott since he was a
12?
wee lad.
10, 12?
So that was like last week, right?
Scott Morris, are you watching?
Sorry, man. And condolences to Scott, by the way.
Oh, yeah, he lost his dog.
Yeah,
Scott, that dog was adorable.
Yeah, condolences.
We love you, Scotty Moe.
Yeah.
Sincerely, Scott Morris, I sincerely mean that, homie.
That's a tough loss. But anyway, so my actual daughters and my proverbial daughter family members were calling me all day long. Get over there and fix it. So my mother.
Well, how did you fix the FaceTime?
So the problem was that the phone my mother was using was very old and the front-facing camera died. So that was the problem.
That's going to hurt FaceTime.
That's going to hurt FaceTime a little bit.
That's going to hurt FaceTime.
But it took a while to explain why. And I said, look, we bought you this brand new iPad for Christmas, so use the iPad, and that's what they pivoted to.
That's great. iPad's a great gift. I gave the iPad to my parents.
So the real quick, a little live stuff. The subdivision, was it Mill Creek? We were talking
Mill
about?
Creek, yeah. And Carol says the house was an inheritance. We don't have a penny invested into it, and we own it free and clear.
Good.
We're ready to sell it.
Good. So one of the
Good
things.
job, Carol.
Good.
And Mr. Thorpe.
And
Matthew. I haven't forgotten about you either, Matthew.
And so one of the first questions we might want to chat about is, we probably got to take a look at the legal end, how it was gifted and all that stuff, and talk to your CPA because we just want to make sure you're not in any tax liabilities. But that's the first question I'd start asking around on. If I sell this, how does this impact me?
You want to take a quick little snapshot at Mill Creek?
Yeah, so I was just doing that real quick as you were talking.
Get out of town. Carol Thorpe, you're not going to believe this. I'm typing in Mill Creek into the MLS right now.
What did you come up with?
How many homes are on the market in Mill Creek right now? There are 0, Carol Thorpe. But guess what? You have a phenomenal time to list your house right now. There are literally 0 homes on the market in Mill Creek. And that's a fantastic neighborhood.
2 pending.
2 pending. No actives.
Sorry?
There's no actives right now.
No actives, 2 pendings.
That's a fantastic neighborhood.
Yeah, I like Mill Creek a
That's
lot.
close to everything.
Yeah.
Interstate, Wegmans, high school, elementary school, great family neighborhood, walking trails.
So the two units that are in pending right now are on Spring Mountain Road and Bryant Court. So the average between the two is, because there's only 2, they can't do a median because you only got 2. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Look, that's interesting. 1981 average square footage. Interesting. Back to my comment.
The average square feet in Mill Creek for a home is 1,981 square feet.
That's just for those 2
Oh,
pending.
for those 2, gotcha.
Those 2's pending. But interesting. Back to my point.
Yeah.
That I was making earlier, and Carol, thank you for making the show better.
That's what I said in my comments too. I like that. Great minds think alike. Carol Thorpe routinely makes the show better. I love Carol Thorpe.
So
she's awesome.
So
she's come on the show before.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now I lost it.
Oh, sorry. I'm catering to your ADD, your ADHD.
Got it. I'm back.
Okay. He's back.
So the DOMs were very interesting. Back to my comment about these eating through these triple digits.
Okay.
177 days. So both of those homes one was on the market for 172, the other for 182. So the average obviously is that. Let me take a look at something here quick. Let's see when these went under contract.
Jason Howard, I'll get to your comments here in a matter of moments.
So one of them, the Spring Mountain Road went under contract. Hold on a second here. I'll do this. December 20th. So that's pretty much in the Christmas week period. And then the Bryant Court one went under contract 1/6. So while you're chatting, I'm going to go see what closed in Mill Creek in the last 30 days. Let's see what that
Jason
looks like.
Howard, the king of Rio Road, said the mouse ate the internet.
The mouse ate the internet.
Maybe Keefe's 2023 budget could include a line item for a hotspot.
So
You got the hotspots on your phone.
I learned something.
Did you use it?
Yes, but
Okay.
there's a limit to how much you can use.
Well, it depends on your plan.
I have, well,
We have unlimited hotspot with our family plan. So why we bought the unlimited hotspot?
so I got
maybe-
unlimited data.
Then you probably have unlimited hotspot.
Well, it showed up on me, said I was about ready to use up my month's worth of.
Are you Verizon?
Well, let's put it this way. I started with Nextel, which is when Sprint now is T-Mobile, I think.
T-Mobile's Sprint now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Haven't moved the plan in
Because
decades.
you got a grandfather plan in. That's probably amazing.
I'm paying
Yeah.
I think $40 a month for everything. I think it's a setting thing I had on my phone.
We use the hotspot for why the unlimited hotspot's good for our family and I is when we drive from Charlottesville to Long Island.
No, you didn't say that right.
Long Island?
No,
How do you say it?
you got to swallow. You got to swallow it.
I
a
got
little
to
bit.
choke on some phlegm.
They got to choke on some phlegm.
When we head to Long Island to visit the grandparents, we turn the hotspot on, and our oldest in the back seat is on the iPad, which is good for sanity for mommy and daddy while driving 12 hours. Sometimes we can do it in 7. Sometimes it takes 13. That's Long Island for you. Here, I'll offer Neil Williamson's take as you look at Mill Creek for Carol Thorpe.
Or kill some time while Smith is thinking, right?
No, I mean, you got Carol Thorpe looking to sell a house here.
No. So, real quick, so there's only one unit that's sold, actually closed, in the first 30 days of January, and that was 1773 Stony Creek Drive. Sale price was $420.
You got it assessed at 340.
1,600 square feet.
Neil Williamson says this. Albemarle, and he's the president of the Free Enterprise Forum, Neil Williamson. He's the content slinger, the king of content.
I thought we spoke. Anyway, I thought we were supposed to call him Captain America or something.
I call him the king of content.
There you go.
He says this. Albemarle County's discussion of affordable housing incentives is this Wednesday. My initial read is the proposed incentives are too small to make a difference and will result in more projects moving forward by right, which is further tightening inventory. He says expand the development areas ASAP. Content slinger, more housing everywhere for everyone. I had on that one, Neil.
To kind of go down that rabbit hole with Neil a little bit. I mean, I'm going to ask a question. Neil, were you invited to the table to discuss this incentives? I can tell you the Regional Housing Partnership was not invited to the table.
Well, who would invite him? The Board of Supervisors?
My suspicion is staff, whoever's running it at the county level. To the best of my knowledge, if there was, it was very limited involvement of the private sector.
Let me ask you this.
Neil can fill, Neil can fill, and I will know a lot more
On Wednesday.
on Wednesday because
Yeah.
I'll be doing a presentation with Ned, which is really weird because Ned Galloway's got to come off of the.
Yeah. Is that how it works?
Absolutely.
On the road show, he's going to come off the dais.
He's got to come off the dais.
Come behind the podium.
on the podium.
Stand next to you.
Stand next to me.
And then talk to the board
and talk to the board
while standing next to you.
while he's standing next to me.
Okay. That literally is how it happens.
That's exactly how it happens.
Let me ask you this question. Neil, this question's for you as well. If county staff does not invite the Regional Housing Partnership or Neil Williamson as a sounding board, as a part of the discussion through this, can the board then say to county staff, I want these people in the mix?
The board can say whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Whatever it wants to.
Because they're the authority.
Yeah.
Could the board not just say, get involved?
Yes. The board could direct the county administrator to direct staff to do that. The board can't directly direct staff below the county administrator. And again, Neil, if I'm off base, fix me on this. That's how that works in that end of it. My suspicion, what is going to happen is they're going to approve it, whatever it is, just to get something in the books. It's been 2 years in the making. The affordable housing plan that the county adopted was 2 years ago. So the incentive plan has been in the works since then. And look, it's not very difficult, right? We just spent a couple minutes here. We're helping Carol Thorpe Live look at something at Mill Creek, which has 0 on the market. I'm taking a look at as we're chatting.
She says the beauty is, since this is not connected to our primary residence, we have the luxury of patience to maximize timing.
Sure.
I mean, I would think from a timing standpoint, you're the expert over here. I just have a microphone. When there's no homes on the market in a neighborhood, this timing can't be better.
Yeah, so we talk about it all the time, right? Here's a sizzle reel. What's the 6 things, right? The 6 things is location. Mill Creek is in a freaking perfect location. Pricing, it'll get priced right.
It's fantastic price.
The condition, I'm sure, is in great shape. The features, I know, are in great shape on the end of it. Timing is what we're talking about. Timing is everything.
I mean, because right now rates are going down and you have no competition in the neighborhood.
I just pulled what's sold in Mill Creek in the last 90 days. There's only 3 transactions that have closed in the last 90 days, and at the median sales price of $420. I don't know what hang on one second here. The square footage is 1,700 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. They were they've in the last 90 days, they've been a little long on the tooth on days on market. And I think that's because, we were in that holiday period, but they were.
It's the holiday hangover.
Yeah, the holiday hangover. But they were, there's 3 that's closed. There was the 2 we talked about that was 148 days and 121 days. But there was one that was 2 days, which is on Timber Branch Court. And yeah, so that went under contract. That went under contract on 11/21 and closed on 12/21 on that end of it. So it stayed on the market. Let me see, what was it? 440, 1,600 square feet. I mean, depending what unit we're talking about, we just did your comp live.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the number you need to be at.
What's the number?
Probably 440, somewhere in that range, plus or minus.
That's a nice little payday.
And the reason I know that is the price didn't adjust. From the original list price to the sales price, it was flat. Don't know if there was any seller concessions. No seller concessions. I'm sorry, I take that back. There was a seller concession of $10,000, which means that the seller helped with closing costs. So in reality, just to put it in perspective, it sold for $430. To the seller, it sold for $430. What the seller did was give the buyer $10,000
for
closing costs and yada yada yada.
Bill McChesney says, Carol, there will probably be estate settlement fees and property transfer charges on it.
Yeah, that's why we would want to make sure we look.
Get your tax professional on that.
Yeah, so when we sit down with somebody who's going to list something, we have a spreadsheet that's a seller net proceed sheet. So it's an actual workbook, worksheet where we start off, okay, this is what we think we're going to sell it. If you owe anything to the bank, closing costs, so forth and so on, we roll that into it and it gives you what your net proceeds is. But to be honest with you, if the house is in good condition, which I'm sure it is, and it's ready to go, I'd put this on the market now because, look, we're dropping in inventory. Let's assume we're wrong and inventory picks up in June or May. Then you're competing.
Then you have more competition.
You got more competition. Right now, you've got 0 competitions. Now's the time to do it.
0 homes on the market in Redfields, another popular neighborhood in Southside Charlottesville. 0 homes on the market in Whittington, another popular Southside neighborhood. I mean, you pick a neighborhood in this town and in Central Virginia, and you're going to struggle to find inventory in it.
So now's the time to sell. It really is.
But it speaks to your point, seller's market.
Yeah, I do not see the swing going away from the seller's market. Certain homes that, again, to go back to my Actually, I didn't finish my 6th one before, which was Who's on the Other Side Matters. But, if you don't hit these first 4 of what I've been talking about forever, if you're not in the right location, it doesn't matter the price, it doesn't match the feature, it doesn't matter the condition, it's going to be a hard sell. So you're going to have to work with those 3 to offset the location, because you can't pick the house up and move it.
Right. 4 homes on the market in Belmont. Those 4 homes range in price from $350 to $625.
Yeah.
They range in size, get this, from 1,000 square feet to 2,200 square feet.
Yeah, but I think one of them's been on the house on the market for
quite some time.
And if it's the one, I'm not looking at it.
It needs some love.
If it's the one I think it is, it's overpriced. It might be in the right location, but the price is not right based on the features and the condition. If the price they would either change the features or condition, they would get the price they've got listed, or they got to lower the price for somebody to go in there and take care of the features.
To make some money.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's just not making some money. It's the same conversation I'm going to 1 o'clock have with the kids today with my daughter and son-in-law out there. It's great. You can maybe find a house that we can use Scott's 1030, whatever, not 502 or 503, whatever his renovation loan is. I forget the numbers on it. But I've done some calculations on the markets that they want to be in. And if you're buying something for $500,000 to $700,000 and you got to put $200,000-300,000 into it to get what you want, you now just overpriced yourself from that market, and it's going to take you forever to recover that money.
Carol said, "Thank you, gentlemen. I'll be in touch with Keith very soon."
Thank you. My pleasure. Love to help you any way I can.
More comments coming in fast and furious. This one from the mayor of Waynesboro. If you take Lake Monticello out of the mix, how many homes are on the market in Fluvanna County?
Well, we can do that. Fine, sir. I will need a minute or two to go ahead and change some stuff a little bit around, but we will do that.
There's not that many. Let's put it that way. On the market in Fluvanna County. We encourage everyone to visit realtalkwithkeithsmith.com.
So the sold data and the previous data is on it, not the current active data on that. But so I have to actually exclude Lake Monticello.
realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. Click the Partners tabs. You'll see Trusted Advisors, Interstate Service Company, a home's best friend, one of our partners, ISC, family-owned and operated Interstate Service Company. Comments in the feed, I will relay them live on air. Comments in the feed.
So interesting, there's more available outside of Lake Monticello. You've got 18. So
18 in Fluvanna County, so, not including Lake Monticello.
Correct. I've excluded Lake Monticello from the search on that. So this is all active, detached. There is no attached in Fluvanna County anyway. And what I do is I exclude Lake Monticello. So there's 18. And then the next step you would ask is, which I haven't done yet, well, if I go ahead and say I don't want any homeowners associations, right, how many of them are left? But at the moment, we've got 18 where medium list price, is $378. Average is $429. So there's some in the 9, some in the low 159, which is on Antioch Road. So that's out in the county. But there's 159 in Antioch Road. Then there's one on Cedar Lane Road for $249. There's one on Tapscott Road. This is all around the Scottsville area. $275. James Madison, $287, which I believe is around Fork Union on it. But then we climb on the fifth one to $299.9. Let's call it $300, which again is on Tapscott Road on that end of it, on that end of the county. But yeah, it's 18 of them.
That's not much.
That is not much at all.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
Lauren and Keswick, welcome to the program. Thank you kindly for joining us.
I am going to see if there is any associations.
How many clients come to you and say, I don't want any HOA dues? How often does that happen?
Quite
often.
That's the reason I wanted to look it up. Can't talk and do that at the same time. Even if I had chewing gum, it'd be
You can do that.
Eh?
You're pretty versatile. I'd say you're a versatile
Hold on
guy.
a second.
What did he pat his head and stomp his?
I could do it.
Oh, it's so funny that you just did that. I do that too. I think I was talking with my 4-year-old.
Look at this. And I can do it with my left leg.
I literally have talked about this with our kid.
Hold it.
Can
Watch
you
that.
pat your
Watch
head
this.
and jump?
Right leg, left hand.
I had this conversation with my 4-year-old like 3 days ago. That's why I'm laughing. I find it endearing.
Yeah. Well, left leg, right hand. Alrighty. So so that's not that is a common request, and it's hard to find that doesn't have some sort of covenants and restrictions or some sort of HOA. So you ask me, what's the difference between covenants and restrictions and HOA? HOAs are, an actual homeowners associations. Covenants and restrictions, you and I can get together, develop a section of property divided into lots, even make the road built to VDOT specifications, so VDOT takes it over, but we create covenants and restrictions, and generally they tie to the county rules, But you can have covenants and restrictions in a rural subdivision that says you can't have chickens. That's not an uncommon.
That's not going to work for Scotty Moe.
God love his chickens, huh?
Man loves his chickens, Scotty Moe.
Yeah, so that was fun. So let's see. I'm going to try to add custom.
It is shocking how little inventory is on the market right now.
Yep.
When is the last time Stephanie Wells Rhodes, welcome to the program.
Hey,
Stephanie, I
Stephanie.
hope you enjoyed that trip to Williamsburg. You are A+ people, Stephanie Wells Rhodes. When have you seen the inventory this meager?
Yeah, so I haven't.
Is this the most meager inventory you've seen in how long? Jennifer Morris, hello, and welcome to the program.
And the reason why I keep on using Lake Monticello.
Well, it's a great barometer. It's got 4,300 plus homes. It's
I've
got
lived-
a good price point, and you know the market.
And I've lived there since '87.
Yeah,
right?
you know it.
And you can go and do that. And that's, historically.
I think that is a great barometer for the Central Virginia market.
That's the reason I keep on. That's the reason I keep on going there.
Because it's got an array of price points. And you know it.
So the rule of thumb used to be, on average, you'd be looking at about 1%, right? It's kind of like the floor. It was for years after years. So what I mean by 1% of the homes that are built in there. So right now it's 4,300, 1% is 43, right? So we're at, as far as the way I slice it, 8. And I got my ADD kicked in about slices. I got to go back to that in a minute. I'm going to try to make a mental note of that. But try to slice it is 8. So that's not even, I don't know, what is that what is 8 of 4,300 percentage-wise?
Oh, my gosh.
Right. If 1% is 43, a 0.5% is 21.5. Let's call it 20 for simple math.
That's under half a point. What is that?
No, that's under. Is
that 0?
It's under a quarter.
That's what I'm saying. Is that 0.0?
Yeah.
0.25?
Remember,
I know that is
left leg. Right.
No, seriously, that is
Yeah.
that's meager.
Yeah. So if the benchmark of the kind of normal churning market, and this is a great question to ask like Maggie Gunnels and some of and Christy Beck, if you want to tag them on that end of it, is what is the normal inventory at Lake Monticello? They're pros; they will know that just as well as
you're a pro
as well as I do. Yeah, but they're in the marketplace also. It's 1%. Now there were years. I remember when I first moved into Lake Monticello, and I've told this more than once. There was 600 houses built. This was in '87, and 300 of them were on the market.
Jason Howard just did the math for us. 0.2 of 1%.
So if we had a ruler, it'd be a lot of those only a couple of those very little lines.
I don't know if that translates.
I got a ruler. I could do that.
I don't think that translates.
I know that. I'm just trying to.
You're making jokes for the sake of a talk show. I wasn't sure if you were serious there. Jason Howard says 0.2 of 1% currently active at Lake Monticello.
Yeah. 2/10.
Think
1%.
about that, people.
2/10.
Is this
1%.
the least amount of inventory you've seen since you've been in real estate since 1987?
I have, yeah.
Since
And that's
1987,
what
right?
I'm trying to tell you.
Lowest amount you've ever seen?
This is the lowest amount I've ever seen.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is true, right? Because we thought last year, when it was again focusing on Lake Monticello, right? We sat here in front of these mics and these cameras, going, "Yeah, this was the bottom. It's only going to get better. Get up." We're exactly where we were this time last year. We were in low single digits inventory last year, Lake Monticello. Just picking Lake Monticello. It has not gotten better. Back to Carol or whoever wants to put the house on the market. If you are ready to sell and move,
do it.
Now's time to do it. Because what's probably going to happen here is much like everybody wants to redefine what a recession is, right? You want to plug in on this one, Judah? I know you're passionate about this whole redefinition of
Lee Elberson also chiming in on LinkedIn about 0.2%.
Thank you, Lee.
And he says, y'all are having way too much fun on a Monday morning. Lee Elberson, I love you, homie. Lee Elberson, I enjoyed meeting your mother, Cindy, here in the studio, and your aunt. They were a hoot. Lee Elberson.
Well, you know, Lee's a brother Marine. Happens to be a really smart brother Marine, which
love Lee Elberson.
Which sometimes don't go together. But anyway, but he's an outstanding. And thank you for doing the math, Lee, and keeping everybody on the straight and narrow on that end of it. But look, the where were we at? I lost it. Bring it back. I forgot what the hell I was talking about.
You were talking about how this is the least amount of inventory
got it.
you've ever seen in your life since you got into real estate in 1987.
I haven't seen it. Like, there you go. It came back. We were talking about, I got to go back to the slice thing. We were talking about, and the question is, Lee, chime in. Why does everybody compare everything to sliced bread? Right? You know, an invention. You know, the best thing since sliced bread.
That's a good question.
Right? You know, just popped into my little brain.
Gary Palmer, hello. Give Gary Palmer some props.
Hey, Gary, going to give you some love, buddy, some props.
Yeah. Gary Palmer, welcome to the program.
Outstanding
Thank you for
individual.
The show.
Back to the whole trusted advisor thing. There's a perfect name for that.
State Farms.
Yep.
Gary Palmer.
Yep. That's the trusted advisor. Reach out to them if you've got any State Farm or insurance issues. Talk about State Farm. What great commercials, huh?
Sounds like you need to reach out to Gary Palmer yourself.
Okay, I will reach out to Gary Palmer myself.
There you go.
You know something I don't know, but okay, I will. But look, the reality of it is, and get Smith back on track here, is we were talking.
That's my number one job, by the way. Have fun, keep Smith on track. That's what I've been told. I feel like I do a pretty good job on it.
I think it's in the contract, actually.
Yeah. Keep Smith on track.
Keep Smith on track. Seriously though, if you go back and look at the tape, I probably made a prediction of some sort that's saying this was the lowest inventory. It's only going to go up from here, and that's the reason why I've been looking at these week over weeks. Via, I take the screenshots, and you've taught me how to figure this out on this stuff, and I go back and look at it, and we are not seeing an increase of inventory. We are looking at, if not the same amount of inventory, maybe a little less. It could be we slide down that ladder instead of up that ladder on that end of it, and pendings are kind of kicking in, and we're starting looking at it. We just looked at Mill Creek, a bunch of triple digits went off the market. If something goes on to Mill Creek now, right location, price, features, and conditions, it's not going to be triple digits before it sells on it. It'll be quite the opposite. I think you're going to start seeing across the board low days on market, low inventory, and it's just going to be a slugfest for the buyer side for a long time.
Keith Smith, Gary Palmer says, you guys are too nice. Love the show. Love the show.
One good-looking dude, too.
Wow, giving Gary Palmer some props today. I like it, GP. You're getting a little love on the show today.
He's a good-looking dude.
There we go, Gary Palmer.
The truth is the truth.
Respect.
I wore a tie just for him.
Is that a new tie, Keith Smith?
That is not a new tie, but Should I tell everybody why I'm wearing a tie today?
Well, your boy Ned Galloway is watching. We love you, Ned.
Hey, Ned.
If you have any announcements you want to make, Ned, we got a seat for you, Ned. We love you, Ned Galloway. Why'd you wear the tie today? Logan Wells Claylo watching the program.
Because if I move
too.
it sideways, you might see a coffee stain underneath the tie.
It looks good. That's a nice tie.
Yeah, I like it. I don't wear.
I like that tie.
I don't wear a tie very often.
Where'd you buy that tie? Was it a gift?
No. Hold on a second. I don't want anybody to see my. Yeah. So I got that at Brooks Brothers.
Oh, Brooks Brothers is great. JT, Jamie Turner, welcome to the program. The mayor of Gordonsville, repping the pep and Culpeper. Jamie Turner, welcome to the show.
Hey, Ned, I'm looking forward to us sitting behind a podium on Wednesday and chatting about what we're passionate about.
Ned Galloway, you do a hell of a job. Love some Ned Galloway.
And we are. Ned doesn't know this yet. I might have a conversation with him later, but I'm working on these Friday roundtables, political roundtables, so we can, again, to quote Ned, if you really want to know what's going on in your local jurisdiction,
budget.
Watch your budget season. So we're going to talk budget season and, what's going on the budget with all the jurisdictions. So I'm making phone calls right now to kind of stagger that and put it together.
I love it. Keith Smith's bringing the ammunition today. You're about to say something poignant, I can tell.
No, I just, as we started the show here, what was it? The mouse ate my internet, so I really didn't get a chance to take a great dive. I wrote it down.
The mouse legitimately ate
my
internet at his house over the weekend. That literally happened to our friend.
Is it A or D? A mouse.
No. The mouse ate my internet because the dog ate my homework.
Okay. Because
there's only one dog in a family. Well, I guess there could be more than one dog, but you don't say that would be a random dog. It would be the specific to the family dog. Now, the question is a mouse specific to Keith and Yoda, or is it an intruder of the home? The relationship with the mouse is very different than the relationship to Forrest, the dog.
And that would...
So maybe in this scenario you would say, a mouse ate my internet.
So are we talking about like English and proper English?
I mean, we're just trying to... Judah's once...
Well, I'm going to let you guys have that conversation because I'm not equipped.
I would say in this circumstance, it could be a mouse ate my internet. What do you think about that, Judah?
If it was a specific mouse, you would say the mouse.
But since we don't know, so it's going to be a mouse ate my internet. The concerning thing is there's likely more than one mouse.
The mouse...
There usually are, right.
I just want to let you know, Judah, that mouse did not introduce itself to me. So I do not know which specific mouse this is. So then it would be a mouse ate. Am I doing this right?
I think it's a mouse ate my internet.
A mouse ate my internet.
Because the dog ate my homework would be specific to the family dog.
I know what you need to do. Tag Yvonne Smith, the teacher.
I think she's watching.
Yeah, tag her. She will correct our English. A mouse ate.
Well, it's not Yvonne Smith anymore.
Whittle. Sorry.
Yeah, let's make sure we get her moniker correct over there.
That's right.
She's out of the Smith nest.
She's out of the...
And she's made her own nest.
She made her own nest.
And she's got a beautiful daughter.
She has a gorgeous daughter.
You want to give your granddaughter some props?
You have 3
grandkids.
Both my daughters I give props on a daily basis. Yeah, honey, I love you. You know that. Looking forward to talking to you at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock today?
We're Zooming today at 1 o'clock.
What are you guys chatting about? The house?
Yeah,
Little Richmond house song?
This is business stuff. FaceTime is personal. Zoom is for business.
Ned Galloway is cracking jokes. He can't wait to speak before the Board of Supervisors. He goes, we will use the word frenetic in our speech. And he spelled it the way I spelled it without the second E.
I want to know, did I say it right? Is it frenetic or phonetic?
Ned,
no, phonetic.
Zinging us. He's zinging us through car lots. He says,
well,
frantic.
First of all, shout out.
We will use the word frantic.
So time out. Let's get serious for a second. You need a car? Go see Ned at car lots.
Ned cracks me up.
Period. End of story.
Ned cracks me up.
That being said, Ned, go out and sell damn cars. Stop busting my
No, he's doing a great job. He just
A mouse ate my internet.
I'm sending him back, haha.
But I don't know. It just sounds better. The mouse ate my internet.
Yeah, that just made me laugh.
The mouse ate my internet.
I get the belly laughs on this show often.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It's good.
I don't know. Is that a compliment?
It is a compliment.
Thank you.
It means we're having fun.
We're always having fun. We rolled on We rolled on to today going, what are we going to talk about?
You're not supposed to say that.
Am I not?
Yeah, you know what? It's your show. You say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want.
Well, let me rephrase that. When we do not have a specific plan
Well,
for
the mouth.
the show, we tend to go sideways and have a lot of fun.
We do.
Right?
We
And
do.
that's-
the
and that's what
viewers
we
and
started-
listeners respond.
And that's what we said in the early. That's what I said earlier. And a couple of people over the weekend, because we didn't. A mouse ate my internet. We went out to watch a ball game somewhere, and
Where'd you guys go?
a local, right around by our place is
Okay.
a Blue 53. It's like a sport. Bleh.
Is that the new Dogwood?
No, so
Okay.
that has been around for a while. For those who are out there, it used to be the Lakeside Grill.
Okay.
So it's across from Food Lion. It's got a bunch of TVs. It's kind of a beer and burger, watch football kind of place.
Love those spots.
Yeah. So a little shout out to them. Great local family that owns it. And forgotten the name. It'll come back to me in a little while.
It'll come to you soon.
It'll come to me probably at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll call you.
I have no doubt you will call me. So where do we go from here?
Well, I'm going to go to my office. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I'm talking about the market.
You
The
know,
market.
to a certain point, we have fun. We do this. We do some great stuff. Where we go from here is sometimes you just got to step into the market. If you're ready to be in the market, you need to step into it. If you're ready to sell, you just need to get in. The best time to buy is always now. The best time to sell is always now. What 2 guys, 3 guys, and a microphone and a bunch of cameras can do about the inventory is, other than what we're doing, right? Talking about it and helping people through the process. Or, I mean, Carol, I just absolutely, what we just did live, I love doing these case studies, for lack of a better term.
Oh, that's a good one.
On the end of it. But the 3 of us don't control what's going to happen to the inventory. There's things that are way out of our ability to control. That being said, show up on the 1st. Watch Keith and Ned do their version of Batman and Robin, or what I call Bert and Ernie.
Is that live streamed?
Yeah, I believe
It is?
all the board meetings are always live streamed. Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
They got to do a better, I don't know. I'm not throwing shade on anybody. I think one thing that could happen would be a little bit more, for Keith, it's called Blue 53. That's from
That's it.
Ann Clark Ramey.
Thank you, Ann. Blue 53.
Ann Clark Ramey, Blue 53. Thank you, Ann.
A little local Lake Monticello, Flavanna news. They're renovating the ABC store, so if you need a bottle of something out in Flavanna County, you can't get it in Flavanna County. They're renovating it.
How long is it closed for?
March, I think they said on the sign, if I remember it correctly. Mrs. Smith wanted a Negroni over the weekend. We were out of Campari, so I went over there to pick it up, and it was they're in the middle of renovating it.
How's Mrs. Smith doing? I just sent her a text and copied you on it.
Oh.
Did you see that?
No, I'm supposed to pay attention to you.
Okay, sorry. Do you have the messages turned off over there?
I don't know if I did or didn't.
Do you see a text from your good buddy Jerry over there?
No, I have not seen a text yet.
Huh. I'm sure it'll come in.
Yeah. Oh. Was it instructions on how to do this better on the show?
No. No. It was a check to follow up on something after the show.
Oh,
It was
look
a
at that.
heads up to follow
Yeah,
up.
I got it. I silence, when I come on here, I silence my phone, because if not, it rings in my hearing aids.
Ah.
And since we're an open book here, since my ADD is pretty bad, any little thing that can throw it into chaos, I try to tune off.
Neil Williamson shares a meme of a mouse brushing his teeth on one of the 15 Facebook pages this show is airing upon.
If anybody could find a meme that's
Neil is the king of memes.
specific to a mouse eat. Well, he writes for a living. What is the proper terminology for that? Is it the mouse
No,
ate?
we're confident.
We're
got that
confident
right.
with A.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because it's not a specific mouse. And you don't really know the mouse. And the mouse isn't a family pet. So we'll go with
It could be.
Look, you have a family pet that eats your internet?
No. I've got a family pet that's supposed to eat the thing that eats my internet.
Did you catch the mouse?
No.
So it's still out there. How do we prevent this from happening again?
Yeah. You sound,
I'm sure you have a plan for that.
This-
I have
you
no
sound-
doubt that you have a plan.
look, I'm going to literally get myself into trouble,
Here we
as I
go.
usually do.
You do. You do.
just-
That's why we like you.
It sounds like Mrs. Smith's.
What do you mean?
Okay, how are you going to fix this? Me.
Oh. Yeah,
Okay.
You fix stuff. You're good at that.
I get that.
You're really good at that.
I get that.
You fixed the door in the studio.
I get that.
Might have taken a little while, but you were doing it pro bono, so I wasn't complaining. And you made it great.
It
It's
works.
flawless.
It works perfectly
and
well.
you've promised me that it's going to stay in this shape for perpetuity.
I did not do
No,
that.
you didn't do that. You didn't do that.
Tail light guarantee. Once you can't see my tail lights, guarantee's over.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, have you never heard that before?
No, I have not.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
great.
The tail light guarantee. Once you can't see my tail lights anymore, guarantee's over.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, that's a trade thing. I don't have an answer to it. I'm ruminating on a potential fix.
You're ruminating. Whoa.
I don't look frenetic, and ruminating. I'm ruminating. I'm thinking.
You're what?
I'm thinking.
What is that?
Thinking.
Is he going to the... Have you ever heard that before?
No.
Tinkin? Is he going to the bathroom?
Yeah. So somebody...
What's tinkin? You ever heard that before, Judah?
So...
No, seriously.
So folks from
That's a key.
Brooklyn, Long Island, they don't say oil. They say Earl.
They say what?
Earl.
Earl?
Yeah.
For oil.
Yeah, they swallow.
Earl.
They swallow the first half of the word and only kind of focus on the last. Earl.
Earl. Give me some Earl.
But in any event, got to figure it out. Got to figure out how he got in the box, how I get in the box, and I got to do conduit. It's a thing. I've got to square root it
Kevin?
on how it's going to do.
Kevin Yancey, the mayor of Waynesboro, just asked if you were having a stroke on the show.
Thank you. Who was that?
Kevin Yancey.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that.
That's hilarious.
It's just a small stroke. What floats? Small pebbles. Anybody know what movie that's from?
What?
It's going to be part of what we're going to release tomorrow or Wednesday on my national award. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Right? When they're doing the witch scene, what floats? Small pebbles. Sorry. That's part of the stroke process, Kevin.
What floats, Keith?
Small pebbles.
Small pebbles.
Small pebbles.
Oh, God.
Turned me into a newt. I got better.
Oh,
You guys never seen that? You've seen Monty Python? and the
I've
Holy-
seen Monty Python.
Oh,
I just
God.
don't remember that specific
Oh,
scene. Do you?
If you can't recite all the lines in it,
Then you're not a true fan.
you are not a true fan.
You're not a true fan.
So there's a story behind that.
You want to tell us the story?
Sofia, Bulgaria, 1984.
Okay. The man is a born storyteller.
I'm a boring storyteller.
Born
Oh.
storyteller. You're a fantastic storyteller.
Well, this happens.
You have storytelling talent.
No, these are just things that happen to me, and I just talk about them.
I know. That makes for good stories.
So, Sofia, Bulgaria, 1987, behind the Iron Curtain. Remember these things called VCRs?
Oh, yeah.
So the Marines, what we would do is we'd have our own little house. In our house, we may or may not have had a bar. We always have a bar in the Marine house. We had the only VCR in the whole East Block in 1984.
Wow. That's a
Somebody
big deal.
smuggled it into the country. A Marine smuggled it into the country. We only had 2 tapes. These were these VCR tapes you would actually put in. Remember those days?
Uh-huh.
It was the movie Arthur. Does anybody remember the movie Arthur with Dudley Moore, where he plays the Playboy drunk on that? And Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
So you guys watched them over and over again?
Of course, and being Marines, right? And my fellow Marines are watching this will totally get this. So there was nothing else to do when you weren't on duty, because you couldn't go to a bar, you couldn't do anything. Just think North Korea. That's what this was. There was no place to go ahead and do this. We would watch Arthur, and every time Arthur took a drink, you had to take a shot of whiskey, bourbon, whatever it was. So by the time Arthur was over,
You were feeling good.
everybody was a little bit, as we would say, a few sheets to the wind. And then we would put in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and we would actually recite it word after word after word after. We would actually, guys would pick roles, and that's what bored Marines do.
That sounds like fun, though.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got to pass the time somehow.
But the fact is, we had the only actual VCR in the East Block, in the former East Block, and it was fun to do that, particularly with ambassadors sitting next to you, because they got nothing to do either. They'd show up, you'd have the British ambassador a few sheets to the wind.
Isn't it amazing how much technology has improved? I mean, programming the VCR to set to record something. And at the time when you're using the VCR to set to record something, you're like, this is amazing. We can record this and watch it later.
So,
now you just live stream it on demand whenever you want.
So
I guess except for sports.
So we've become dependent upon it. When a mouse, or the mouse, because I think it was one, but a mouse ate my internet this weekend, we were dead in the water.
That's what I'm saying.
My Wi-Fi, my thermostats didn't work. Everything in my house that has now been connected.
A smart house.
It's a smart house.
Yeah.
Has all been connected to the internet. Was dead in the water. And the only way we got to watch the football game was go to a bar.
Which you did.
Well, that was the first game. The second game, we went home and broke out the old rabbit ears. That kudos to my wife.
Yona, we love you.
Because, if Keith doesn't touch it in a month or two, if I don't use something, it goes in. I just get rid of everything, right? I just get rid of stuff. Yona, on the other hand, does not. Thank God she would have got rid of me.
Haven't you said on the show that Yona is kind of a hoarder? I think you said that.
Oh, no, that brings up mental.
I think you said that on the show, didn't you?
She likes to keep stuff.
Okay, now you're choosing your words very carefully. Ann Clark Ramey goes, the Knights of Knee.
There you go. See? Now, there is somebody who has class.
Ann Clark Ramey. I'm giving you some props right now. This is for Ann Clark
The
Ramey.
likes that say Neek, right? Or it's just a classic, beautiful. Absolutely classic movie.
It is a good movie.
But you'll this is all will make sense on Wednesday because I can't talk about it until
You've been alluding
the 31st. But the award, the section of the national award I got was under the Crusader banner. So therefore, the reference of Monty Python.
That's why you sent that text to us.
Yeah. Now it's making sense, right? So Knights in a Round Table, it was during the Crusades. So
okay. At the time, who did you send that to? Was it me and Neil?
Yes.
And we were like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, that's why. Because it's
Now you get it, Neil.
Yeah.
I did not get it.
It's a national award, but we'll talk about it more on Wednesday. But it's in the Crusader column for a national thing.
I got it.
So
Kevin Hansen setting you a mouse emoji as well with a mouse eating a keyboard. I love the mice emojis, or the memes, excuse me.
So Wednesday is Scott's going to come in.
Scotty Moe.
Don't think he has any guests. We're going to have a lot of fun. Talk about Knights on banging coconuts and Monty Python and my national award maybe a little bit on Wednesday. And Friday I'm trying to put a Nelson County roundtable together. But we're just
little Jesse Roth.
I'm trying to get everybody together, but trying to get the band together. But people are busy. That's reaching out to, which is really a great thing. Reaching out to real estate agents to come on. They're just too busy. So that's a great indication that the market is moving in the right direction.
Keith Smith, Judah Wickower, Real Talk with Keith Smith, guys. Find him online at realtalkwithkeithsmith.com. Keith Smith is a realtor. He's a realtor. If you need help buying and selling, call Keith Smith, Yona Smith, and Yes Realty Partners. A realtor.
I do this for a living.
I know, you do this for a living. That's what I'm saying.
Not only
we changed your name on screen to emphasize this.
Oh, did you really?
Co-owner and realtor. Yes, Realty Partners. You do this for a living.
Yeah, actually, not only do I play one on TV.
He actually does do this for a living.
I actually do this for a living.
We changed the nameplate on screen to include that in there.
Yeah. We actually do this for a living. And I may be a knight too. I might be a Monty Python character.
You did a hell of a job today, my friend.
Yeah. You know what? Monty Python is one of my favorite troops to watch.
I love it. I love it. Keith and Judah.
It's 11. My
I
God.
see that.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
very well aware.
Sorry about that.
No problem at all, my friend. Keith Smith, Judah Wickhauer, Jerry Miller. Real Talk with Keith Smith, presented by Yes Realty Partners, a company co-owned by Keith and Yona Smith. Reach out to them to help you get to the finish line, whether you're buying or selling a house. The I Love CVille show is up in approximately 45 minutes, which means we're going to scramble between now and then. Thank you kindly
And maybe
for watching.
we should work on a meme. Yes, he actually does this for a
We
living.
do this for a living. We do this for a living. Thank you kindly for joining us. We will see you in 45 minutes on the I Love CVille show. So long.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good job. That was fun.
Yeah,
Time flew.
I always have fun with you.
Didn't it fly by?
It's the first time I looked at it, I didn't realize. I'm sorry. We're 11.